So today's lesson, I want to talk to you about the quality of your effort. The quality of your effort. We're all putting in effort, myself included. And just so you all know, these are lessons for me just as much as they're lessons for you. And I want to start by illustrating this with a story from my personal life. From when my daughter, who's now 16, when we first had her in soccer when she was little. Now, if any of you have kids, grandkids, and you've had them in soccer, you know how hilarious it can be when they first start learning the game. I mean, it's basically a bunch of little kids in huddled circles just going around the field, right? And somewhere in there's the ball, and somewhere over there and over there is the nets, which they're supposed to get them into. But it's just like this big swarm, this big cluster of little kids chasing the ball around, right? There's very little strategy. It's pretty adorable, and it's just a great place for them to learn the sport. And so we've got my daughter in soccer, and she laughs about it to this day. But when she was in soccer, she wasn't necessarily the most physical type, not necessarily the most aggressive. In fact, as a 16-year-old, she's pretty much given up on sports. It's just not her thing. She's the type that would always say, "Does somebody have to win? Do we have to compete?" She just doesn't like competition, which for her mother and I is just like, what? Like, we were both super competitive athletes, are still super competitive to this day. And here's our daughter who doesn't have a competitive bone in her body. Well, we used to, coach her and say, you need to be aggressive. You need to get in there. You need to work hard. You need to put in the effort, right? And so she'd be out there on the field, and this swarm would be chasing the ball. And she would be on the outside of this swarm, trying to get the ball, right? But she's not just on the outside. She's pumping her hands. She's going, she's breathing real heavy. And every time the swarm would run, she would run behind it, and she would pump those arms like this. And she would look back over at us and go, and after the game, she would say, "Boy, did you see me working hard? Did you see how hard I worked out there? I'm exhausted." And, her mom and I would look at each other and kind of laugh and be like, "Yeah, you were working hard. You were pumping your arms hard." She wanted to make it look like she was working hard, but the quality of her effort, she was still nowhere near the ball. She was kind of playing it safe on the outside of the swarm. She didn't want to mix it up and get in there and risk getting her shins kicked, risk getting bumped, risk anything, basically. Just wanted to stay out in the safe zone and keep pumping those arms and making it look like you're putting forth a lot of effort. Now, I see a lot of people doing this in business. They're pumping those arms, they're showing up, they're putting in the hard work. Usually they're the same people that you and I both see on social media who need to tell everybody how much work they're doing, how early they're getting up, all of the busy activities that they're doing. Did you see me? Did you see how hard I was working? Did you see the effort I was putting in? But at the end of the year, they have little to show for it. They never actually got in there and kicked the ball. They never actually got in there and got bumped around. They never actually got in there and risked anything. And it's only the ones that get in there and get their shins kicked, that get bruised, that fall down, that every once in a while get the ball. And every once in a while have the chance to score the goal. And many times I find myself in my days, in my work, where I have to zoom out and I picture my daughter doing that thing, pumping those arms real hard. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? That's what I'm doing. I'm not risking getting in the actual game right now. I'm doing a lot of motion. I'm really super busy. But is the quality of my effort really what's gonna pay off? Is all this busy work that I'm doing really the part that's gonna help me get the ball and score the goal? And sometimes that answer is no. I'm flailing my arms around. I'm huffing and puffing. I'm exhausted at the end of the day. But the quality of my effort isn't necessarily where it should be. My question to you is, are you pumping your arms around? Are you flailing around? Or are you actually in there, in the swarm, mixing it up, getting your shins kicked, learning lessons, getting knocked down, stacking up the losses so that you can finally get the win? Now, only you know what the difference is between the real quality effort you should be putting in and the fake effort of you just being extra busy, productive, but deep down, it isn't necessarily what you should be working on. So this is a quick gut check for all of us here. Always kind of zoom out and picture, all right, I'm really busy, but am I working on the things that are giving me the highest leverage? Am I working on the things that are going to be really moving the needle, helping me win the game? So constantly be asking yourself that question, measuring yourself against, are you in the swarm or are you out? You'll know because it hurts. You're getting bumped, you're getting kicked in there. But that's exactly where you need to be in order to have any chance of getting the ball. So hopefully that analogy, that story is one that you can refer back to in those times where, you need to see, am I really putting in the quality effort? All right, Unchained Writers, I'm going to let you get back to it. Go out there and put forth the quality effort that you know you should. Look forward to being back with you real soon. And until then, as always, I'll be cheering for you. Bye, everyone.